It's 3 a.m. You're horizontal. You've done nothing wrong in 11 hours. And your brain goes, hey, remember when you waved back at someone who wasn't waving at you? In 2014? Cool. Let's relive it. In high definition, with director's commentary. And it won't stop at one. There's the wave. The text you sent twice. The time you said you too to the waiter. Your brain has a whole box set, and it will air a new episode every single night until you understand the one reason it's doing this. It's not deep. It's a glitch. And right now it's stealing the exact thing you came here to do. Sleep. So tonight, you don't get to sleep. Tonight, you learn why. Quick thing before your amygdala hijacks the rest of this. If you enjoy finding out that your personality is mostly ancient software bugs nobody bothered to patch, subscribe. This whole channel is just ancient bugs running your life, explained slowly so you can feel seen and slightly attacked. Okay, back to your suffering. Let's start with the obvious question. Why now? Why does your brain pick 3 a.m. specifically? You were fine at 2 p.m. You bought a sandwich. You functioned. But the second the lights go off and there's no email to answer and no podcast to drown it out, your brain finally has the silence it's been waiting for. And it does not use that silence to relax. It uses it to open the filing cabinet labeled Things You Should Be Ashamed Of, Volume 7. Daytime you is busy. Daytime you has tasks. Nighttime you is a sitting duck. No distractions means no buffer, and no buffer means your brain finally gets uninterrupted airtime to run the one program it loves most. The threat review. Congratulations on the silence. You played yourself. Now, why those memories? Out of the thousands of perfectly fine, even good moments you've had, why does your brain reach past all of them and grab the time you called your teacher mom? You'd think a brain would highlight the wins, the compliments, that one genuinely cool thing you said once. But no, your brain is not a highlight reel. Your brain is a threat detection machine that occasionally lets you have fun by accident. There's a researcher named Baumeister who put a name to this. He and his colleagues wrote a paper basically arguing that bad is stronger than good. That was literally the idea. Negative events hit harder, stick longer, and shape you more than positive ones of the same size. One insult outweighs 5 compliments. One bad review drowns out 10 good ones. Your brain treats good news like a text and bad news like a fire alarm. And evolutionarily, that's not stupid. That's the smartest thing your brain ever did. Think about your ancestors. The cave guy who remembered every nice sunset but forgot which berry made his cousin foam at the mouth? He's not your ancestor. He's a cautionary tale. The cave guy who obsessed over every threat, every social misstep, every did the tribe seem annoyed with me today? That paranoid, exhausting, deeply unchill individual? That's Grandpa. You come from a long, unbroken line of champions at remembering bad things. You're basically Olympic at it. So when your brain skips the good stuff and zooms in on the cringe, it's not malfunctioning. It's doing its #1 job with terrifying enthusiasm. It just hasn't noticed that the job changed. Here's where it gets genuinely wild, and this is the part that should make you forgive yourself a little. Your brain does not really file social embarrassment in the minor inconvenience folder. It files it dangerously close to the physical danger folder. A neuroscientist named Naomi Eisenberger ran a now-famous study where people played a simple online ball-tossing game while in a brain scanner. The game was rigged. At some point, the other players just stopped throwing the participant the ball. That's it. That's the whole tragedy. A virtual ball. Strangers. A computer. And yet, when people got left out, the regions of the brain that flared up overlapped with the regions tied to physical pain. Getting socially excluded didn't just feel bad as a figure of speech. To your brain, rejection and a stubbed toe are filed in suspiciously similar drawers. Sit with that. The reason that awkward thing you said at a party in 2019 still stings is the same machinery that makes you go, oh. Your brain literally cannot fully tell the difference between they didn't laugh at my joke and I am bleeding. And this is the part the hook was hiding from you. Your brain genuinely believes that cringe from 12 years ago might still kill you. To it, rejection isn't awkward. It's a survival threat. That's it. That's the whole bug. You're being protected from a danger that ended before smartphones had decent cameras. So when it replays the cringe, it's not being dramatic. It's running a pain memory. And brains, very sensibly, replay pain memories so you don't touch the hot stove twice. The problem is, the stove was a conversation, and it's been cold for years. By the way, what's the cringe memory your brain refuses to release? The specific one. The one that just surfaced right now, unprompted, the second I said the word release. Drop it in the comments. Misery loves a comment section, and honestly, so do I. You'll feel weirdly better, and you'll discover everyone else is haunted by something equally stupid. Okay, so we know bad sticks harder. We know social pain reads like real pain. But there's one more ingredient, and it explains why it's always the unresolved moments that haunt you. Not the closed ones, the open ones. Back in the 1920s, a psychologist named Bluma Zeigarnik noticed something in restaurants. Waiters could remember complicated orders perfectly, right up until the bill was paid. The second the transaction was done, finished, closed, the memory basically evaporated. But the unfinished orders? Crystal clear. She turned this into actual research, and it became known as the Zeigarnik effect. The short version: your brain hates an open loop. Unfinished business gets a sticky note. Finished business gets shredded. Now apply that to your 3 a.m. horror reel. Notice it's never the clean memories. It's never remember that time you said the perfect thing and walked away like a legend. Nope. It's the moment that ended weird. The text you never got a reply to. The argument you didn't finish. The joke that landed in total silence and then everyone just moved on. Your brain keeps those because as far as it's concerned, the case is still open, unresolved, pending. And your brain, the world's most anxious project manager, refuses to mark it complete. That awkward goodbye where you both went the same direction? Open loop. That email you reread and now hate? Open loop. Your brain is just trying to close the tab. It's been trying for 9 years. It cannot. The other person forgot before they reached their car. So now you've got 3 forces working together at full volume. Bad sticks harder than good, courtesy of Baumeister. Social rejection registers like physical pain, courtesy of Eisenberger. And unresolved moments refuse to be deleted, courtesy of Zeigarnik. Stack those 3 and you don't have a personality flaw. You have a perfect storm engineered by evolution to keep you alive in a tribe of 150 people who could absolutely have left you to die. But here's the counterintuitive twist, and it's the one that actually matters. The replaying itself is supposed to help you. That loop where you run the cringe again and again, slightly editing it, imagining what you should have said, that's your brain trying to fix the threat. It thinks if it just simulates the disaster enough times, it'll find the version where you didn't embarrass yourself, and then it can finally relax. It's not torturing you for fun. It thinks it's doing problem solving. This is what researchers who study rumination, replaying the same negative thought on a loop, like Susan Nolan-Huxema, who built a huge body of work on exactly this, have pointed at for years. Rumination feels productive. It feels like you're working something out. You are not. You're a hamster on a wheel that's convinced it's commuting. Your brain reruns the scene, hoping for a new ending, but the scene already aired. There's no new footage. You're just running the scene on repeat in 4K and calling it reflection. And that's the cruel joke. The exact mechanism designed to protect you and help you improve is, at 3 a.m. with no off switch, just a glitchy alarm screaming about a fire that burned out a decade ago. The smoke detector works. There's just no fire. It's beeping at toast. So let's talk about why this is so much worse for you, specifically right now, in this stupid century. Because your ancient brain was built for a tribe of maybe 150 people, total, for your whole life. Make a fool of yourself in that tribe, and yeah, that's a real problem. There's nowhere to hide. Reputation was survival. Now? You interact with more people before lunch than your ancestors met in a lifetime. Every group chat, every comment, every meeting, every sent to 12 people email is another stage for potential social catastrophe, and your brain treats every single one like a life or death tribal verdict. It's running prehistoric software on a machine doing 10,000 times the social processing it was ever rated for. No wonder it overheats at night. You gave a Stone Age brain, a smartphone, and unlimited audiences, and then wondered why it won't shut up. And the camera situation? Your ancestors' worst social blunders were witnessed by a few people and then mercifully forgotten by everyone, including history. Yours can be screenshotted. Your brain doesn't know what a screenshot is, but it can feel the difference. It knows the audience got bigger and the loops got harder to close, so it works overtime. It's not lazy. It's overworked and underqualified and doing its absolute best with a job description from 50,000 BC. Remember that wave from the start? The one where you waved back at someone who wasn't waving at you? Here's the thing your brain refuses to compute. That person does not remember it. They have their own wave. Everyone has a wave. Everyone is lying awake, replaying their own ancient, microscopic crime against a courtroom that adjourned years ago and went home and forgot the trial even happened. You are not the main character of anyone's 3 a.m. You're a background extra they don't even recall casting, which is humbling, freeing, and frankly the best news in this whole video. Quick disclaimer. This isn't therapy, it's patch notes. If the loop is genuinely wrecking your life, a real professional beats a doodle channel every time. Okay, so how do you actually disarm the thing? Not delete it. You can't delete it. It's load-bearing. But you can talk it down. First, name it for what it is. When the replay starts, instead of fighting it or sinking into it, just clock it. Oh, that's my ancient threat alarm doing its thing again. Naming the alarm as an alarm strips it of its power, because it's no longer, I'm a horrible embarrassment. It's my smoke detector is reacting to toast. Big difference. Second, give the open loop a fake ending. Your brain wants closure on the Zeigarnik tab? Fine. Close it manually. Decide the scene is over. Literally tell yourself, that's finished. The case is closed. No further action required. Sounds dumb. Works better than you'd think, because the loop isn't asking for justice. It's just asking for done. And third, get up. Move. Break the silence the loop feeds on, because remember, it only gets airtime when you've got nothing else running. Daytime you is protected by chaos. Give nighttime you a tiny bit of that chaos back. Because here's the actual reframe, the one to fall asleep on. That 3 a.m. cringe replay is not proof that you're broken, or cringe, or doomed to be haunted forever. It is proof that you have a brain that took its job of keeping you alive in a brutal social world incredibly, annoyingly seriously. It's overprotective. It's outdated. It's screaming about dangers that retired years ago. But it is, in its deeply inconvenient way, on your side. It's just bad at telling time. If you made it this far without your brain ambushing you with at least one new memory, that's a lie, and you know it. So do this. Subscribe, because there is an entire museum of these ancient bugs running your life, and we are going through every single one. And next time, here's the question that should haunt you. Why does your brain make you instantly forget what you walked into a room to get, but never, ever, the awkward thing you said in 2014? Same brain. Opposite settings. We'll get into it. So it's 3 a.m. You're horizontal. You've done nothing wrong in 11 hours. And somewhere in your skull, an ancient guard who has never once seen a real threat is still, faithfully, hopelessly, standing watch over a danger that ended before you even owned a phone. Tell him thanks. Then tell him to go to sleep.